You cannot have the yeah, we should start. Yeah. Okay. You want to get it started? Yeah, he couldn't print the packet because it was too much. I think because of the hearings. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. We are going to begin City of King City regular City Council session at 6:08 p.m. Go ahead and do roll call. Councilor Gearhart. Here. Councilor Tyso. Here. Council President Braverman. I am here. Councilor Arditi is not going to be joining us tonight, and that is unexcused. I'm sorry, it is excused. And Mayor Kazmersky here. Okay. Let's go ahead and, if you're able, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Okay. First item on our agenda tonight is the approval of minutes. The first one is from the June 20th, 2025 City Council Emergency Session. Are there any?
I looked at them. They look accurate to me.
Okay. Can I get a motion for approval?
I make a motion we approve the minutes
I second it.
Okay.
of June 20th.
June.
20th.
I would like them separated out because I do need to abstain from the first. So let's do roll call vote for this one. Councilor Gearhart.
Yes.
Councilor Tyso.
Yes.
Council President Braverman.
Yes.
And Mayor Kazmersky, I will abstain because I was not at that session. Next up is the July 21st, 2025 special session.
I did find one small edit. I believe that Councilor Arditi was not excused from not attending that meeting, but
Is your microphone
I
on?
don't know. Is my microphone working? I can't even. Okay, so I found a small edit. I do not believe that Councilor Arditi was excused from that meeting, and he did not attend.
For all his emails, he is excused.
Yeah. He was excused from that.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, I didn't know.
Okay. Any other edits? Could I get a motion to approve?
I motion to approve the July 21st, 2025 minutes.
I second the motion.
Okay. Can we do all in favor for this one, Ronnie, or roll call again? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All opposed? None. Motion passes. How many of us are here? 4? 4-0. Okay. A little right now. All right. Moving right ahead, we have the police chief report.
Police chief?
Police chief, yes. Okay.
I have a couple things. I just wanted to proudly announce that King City Police Department now has a full-time drug recognition expert working in Washington County. This is big time. Washington County only has a few, a very small handful. The training is grueling. It's across the state. I believe they only let 16 train a year in the entire state of Oregon. So for our small agency to have somebody on that team is pretty fantastic. The DREs, as they call them, are to help enforce drug DUIs. They'll respond, call out from their home, countywide, and even Clackamas County or other adjacent counties to help patrol officers with their drug DUIs. So it's a pretty cool thing to have somebody on that team, and we're super proud of Officer Wes Montgomery for completing that training. And it takes a lot to get it done, and so yeah, he's up and running full time now, and so we can get those drug DUIs off the streets.
And this is not an additional position, is it?
So this is a specialty
It's just
position,
something he trained for.
team position. So like we have an officer on the crash reconstruction team as well, which is basically, it's a team comprised of officers from multiple agencies. CRE specifically work on their own, and they'll respond out on their own. Like crash reconstruction will respond to the team. So this, no, it's a,
Okay.
And then the overtime is to get reimbursed, because it's
yeah, everything's paid for.
and it's
So it's all good, everything, isn't it?
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gain, you
Yeah.
don't lose. So, the other report is, King City Police Department will be partnering with Washington County Sheriff's Office for Labor Day weekend DUI mission. So we will have an officer specifically dedicated to DUIs and reckless drivers, for that weekend, and help them get ready for back to school. So, and that leads me to the last thing, which is back to school is coming up. So you will see officers in the school zones coming up, shortly in the mornings and afternoons during drop off and pickup, enforcing the speed, which you'll see based on the blinking yellow lights, usually around 7:30 in the morning, to around 8:15, and then an afternoon between 2 and 2:45. So that's all I've got for now.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to city manager's report.
I was handed some letters we're going to talk about tonight. Couple of things. One, again, want to thank the staff. Staff's been amazing here again lately. Met with them all at lunchtime today, and you know, just recognizing how things have taken off and the roles that everybody's assuming, and as everything is going really well. There will be, you know, coming up again September. Well, actually, the first thing I'll talk about August. Ronnie's got his Red Cross blood drive that's coming Saturday, August 23rd, coming up. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You still have 8 spots left. Is that still current? Yeah, 8 spots left that can come in. Also, staff's meeting with Clean Water Services to discuss permitting process that deals with the new growth down in Kingston Terrace. Charter Review Committee. It will meet September 12th at 10 a.m. And then we also will have, we're hosting the League of Oregon Cities, the Small City meeting on September 17th from 11 to 1. They come in with legislative updates, small city updates, sponsors, and so these meetings are all held around the state, you know, from all different regions. And the small cities are populations of 7,500. And that is about all I have for tonight. I do have one more thing, that we are, you know, currently, moving on with our collective bargaining agreement with represented employees, and it's moving well, and we expect to have a resolution and something for you all to take care of.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to mayors and councilors' reports. Council President Braverman, would you like to begin?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I really first want to thank the chief, lieutenant, and all the staff. They have really stepped up mightily to get things done efficiently. I really want to say a big thank you to everyone to rally and to really step in. A few other things I want to report. I have received 2 emails. One that wanted to recognize and thank Max Carter for going above and beyond and helping one of our residents who had some concerns. So I really wanted to thank and recognize Max for that. I feel like it's a really wonderful turn for the city to be hearing positive accolades from our constituents and our voters and our residents. So Max, thank you for leading that customer service charge. Thank you. Also, there have been another person who I'm hoping is planning to speak tonight. People have been reaching out, Lieutenant and Chief, about repairs that need to be done on streets and things like that. And I'm not really sure, would want your direction as to whom I should be attentioning those, what do you want to call them, requests, inquiries, that kind of a thing. Would I be sending that to you, Chief?
Yes. And, once we, obviously Dave's out with, on the medical leave, and once we have, enough work to where we can put together, we have contract services with the city of Tiger to come over and give us a hand and clean those. And
the last thing I wanted to bring up very briefly, and I won't take up too much time, but I know that Councilor Arditi had mentioned a few times about bringing in a Chamber of Commerce for King City, and I've mentioned wanting to involve the businesses and help support them here in King City. I did a little bit of research. I mean, starting a Chamber of Commerce can be very expensive. You have to file papers with Secretary of State, you have to be a 401B6, and then you have to pay someone to do the taxes, and then the businesses have to pay to become members to support that chamber. And it might be something that's a little bit too expensive right now for our small city. However, I was thinking I would like to introduce an idea in my report here that maybe we could start some kind of a business alliance of King City businesses and find out and get a post if they would be interested in kind of organizing and putting forth a volunteer person who might want to chair that. And maybe we could ask Tiger Life to work with them so that maybe they could have a page in the Tiger Life so we know what businesses are here in King City and what they do and what their hours are and what their phone numbers are. And maybe that way we could start to support our businesses in a less expensive way. So I just want you to know that I am looking into that right now because there has been some inquiry about it. That is my report for right now.
Thank you. Councilor Tyson.
Sure. The League of Oregon City Small Cities on the 17th. If any counselors can show up, since we are the hosts, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
And they usually have, and Ronnie probably will have been given an agenda because they run the meeting. We don't. We just host it. It's always very, how do I say, informative, and it's good to shake hands with people and see faces. And you know, and everybody kind of talks about the good things that are happening in their cities. And so I would love to see us do that. And
That's in September?
What time is it?
September 17th from 11 to 1.
It's 11 to 1, Jan? 11 to 1?
Yeah, but truthfully, they're usually over by 12:30 at the latest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited to this.
I mean, they kind of do bing, 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 you know, and say, we can eat while we talk. And so, I want to piggyback on what you were talking about sort of a business thing, and then this would bring in our PIO, our Public Information Officer. Just creating a directory on our website is a big deal.
Yeah, even a directory that could be handed out.
Sure, but I mean, all of us anymore are so used to Googling that, you know, if there's a pointer on our website for the businesses.
I like that.
You know, and then that wouldn't cost anybody anything, and we would be neutral. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilor Gearhart.
Seems like it was just a week ago I gave you guys a report.
Yep.
Wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so that's about it. I've just been laying around on the couch all week.
Waiting for the next opportunity. Good.
I'll ditto what President Braverman said. All our hard work and help. I mean, they're just doing an awesome job.
Yep. For my report, I also don't really have anything to add since last week, but I did also receive the email giving Max kudos. So that was the only part of my report tonight. So well done, everybody. I know that we're in so many transitions and it's all hands on deck, and so getting these emails has been great. So you guys are all doing a wonderful job. Thank you. Okay, special presentations. We do not have any tonight, so we, yes. On the staff report. I apologize. Yes, you're doing so good that I'm going to skip you. Staff reports. I apologize.
To Mira, she's online.
Okay.
She wanted to give you an update on the finance department and front of house.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Mira.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. You hear me? Loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
good. Thank you. So at our accounting department, July was a kind of challenging month for me and Diana. On top of our daily routine, accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, passport shift. And the most challenging assignment was working with the auditor. So for the fiscal year 23-24. And hopefully we have the final audit report the first week of September, and then we can present it the next council meeting. And also with the management change, we were working on change the signers on two of our bank accounts, the U.S. Bank and the LGIP Day Pool account, and also apply for the new credit card, the commercial business credit card with U.S. Bank, which I just get an email notification. They mailed out the credit card yesterday. We should be getting it tomorrow, hopefully. And also, we're working on the current year 25-26 supplemental budget, which reflecting the recent union negotiation, and also finalizing the June and July financials, which all we can present in next council meeting. Katie, do you hear any update from the auditor? Katie?
Katie online? She's online. She was headed home to be online. Yeah, she's there.
Oh. So any update from the auditor?
There we go. There we go. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to join as a panelist. No, unfortunately, I have not heard back from the auditors. I'm trying to ping my contacts to get their attention so we can wrap this up. So I'm sorry, I don't have any further updates.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Yeah, well, just to tack on to one thing that Mira mentioned was that a lot, like our company credit cards were underneath Mike's name. And so when he left, those had to get canceled. Well, I think they were attached. And so that kind of really hamstrung our kind of commercial, like retail passport revenue sources, because I was the one who had to go fetch like stamps at the post office and mail things because we weren't able to do all of our e-commerce and order things online ourselves for the last month. So that was just another little added wrinkle of not being able to buy things.
So you weren't able to buy your golf cart?
I'm working on it. You may have noticed that Jordan Way at Southwest 131st, the stop sign there got hit by a car and had to be removed, and so there was no stop sign and no street sign for a little while. As Chief mentioned, we requested Tiger come out and replace the stop sign, which they did. They did a great job, but we forgot to request that they replace the street sign. So now there's a stop sign with no street signs, and the stop sign is on the very tippy top of the pole. So we have to remove the stop sign, lower it down, and put the street signs on top, which I wanted to do, but it might be a little ambitious. I might have to defer to Tiger on that one, but so that should be hopefully coming up within next week. And then Ronnie and I are kind of going through with a fine tooth comb some of the municipal code. If you look at it, it just needs a general broad update. So we're not exactly sure how long that's going to take, but we're hoping to have kind of like a draft red line of certain chapters in the municipal code that we could present to the city council and the planning commission later on to show you how we're trying to update the municipal. And that's all I got other than all this last week.
I will introduce her again, Erin Carey, who's been a new hire. She's been here a few weeks now. Done a fantastic job. Going to be a public information officer, aka community engagement, and face of the franchise. With that said, I'll let her introduce herself further and what she's working on currently.
Well, hi, everybody. I am Erin. I have had such an awesome time getting to know everyone, and I'm continuing to get to know everyone, and the community has been wonderful. And yeah, I've been hitting the ground running top of mind for me has been really improving our social media, both with King City and King City PD. I believe that's a great connector piece, making sure that everybody knows about Labor Day enhanced patrols, back to school, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all the great things that this city does. So that's been a big, big piece for me. Also touching base with the Lions Group, I know that they're going to be putting their clothing drive out by the King City City Hall. So I'd like to further those initiatives and see if maybe we can start doing a toy drive and a food drive moving forward. Try and get something seasonally going so that we can really, really focus on some community engagement. And then additionally, one of the biggest pieces for me is just getting some really good positive media outreach, getting some constructive headlines for the city. I feel like we have an opportunity here to really recreate ourselves and reinvent ourselves and really tell the story about how great King City is for the outside world. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you and meeting with you and hearing your insights and ideas for the city. So, yeah, thank you all for welcoming me so warmly, and I look forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
I've got a couple of questions, if I might.
Yeah.
What kind of experience do you have, Erin? Where do you come from?
Yeah, so I have a journalism background. So I come from the University of Oregon, Bachelor of Science in Journalism and Communication with a minor in comparative literature. I've worked, interned at Willamette Week. I worked as an assignment editor at Coin 6 News for a couple of years. I've also worked at Nike, Umpqua Bank, and most recently at Shinza Properties, all in writing and communications departments. So strong writing background, strong public relations and marketing background.
Awesome, great. Well, welcome. Are you by chance going to be working with our golf course or maybe our HOAs at all?
Yeah, I'm open to working with everyone. I want to make sure the community understands that I'm here to help communicate, right? And so I think we've had a lot of ways that, there's been breakdowns in communication, and I really want to improve that. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone and continuing to build strong relationships.
Anything we can do to help, and we're here.
I just want to meet all of you personally. I would love to have some one-on-ones with each of you and just, understand your backgrounds, understand your concerns, and see how we can work together.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Now, no special presentation, so let's move to open forum. Open forum is intended to ensure the community has an opportunity to provide input for items being considered on the agenda or make suggestions for future agendas. At this time, the council will be happy to receive your comments pertaining to items on the agenda, with the exception of public hearings for which testimony will be received and conducted in the proper form and manner at the time of the hearing. We do have two. Well, I think just one was public comment. Both of them have public comment? Both hearings? Just the one. Okay, that's fine. Each person's time will be limited to 3 minutes tonight. Okay. First, John, is it Forsyth? Okay.
Hello, my name is John Forsyth. I'm the president of the Garden Villa Service Association. It's the largest of the 8 in the King City Civic Association. We're currently doing our reserve study, and the person who's coming through has pointed out sidewalks that have been raised by tree roots. The path north of Matador has 2 portions being raised by tree roots, and he pointed out that the streets need paving. In addition to that, in our neighborhood, we have 1 4-way stop, a few 2-way, a few 1-way, the vast majority no stop signs, and the 1 painted stop has worn away. You can barely tell it's there. That's all I wanted to tell you. Thank you very much for your time.
Actually. Okay. Next up, we have Sherry Gilmore. I'm like, am I going to say it right the second time?
Hi. I am currently the president of the KCCA Board of Directors, and I'm just going to piggyback on this issue about the streets and the sidewalks. Our community is old. Our residents are older. We have a lot of raised sidewalks due to all kinds of things. We have told our residents multiple times that they are responsible for the sidewalks, and the curbs. And they say, oh yeah, okay. And we say, if anything happens, you are liable. You'll have to have insurance for that. And they go, yeah, okay. But nothing happens because we don't have a way to enforce that. I think it has to come from the city, some sort of a notice to the household saying there is this issue, you need to take care of it. Because we can notify them through our LARC committee, our landscape architecture, but we have no enforcement powers. So we can only say, hey, we have an issue here, and but no way to make them pursue it any further. And it's a major issue for our community because a lot of people walk in the streets now because the sidewalks are so, so when you're driving, you have to maneuver around those people. It would just be very useful if at some point the city perhaps could come up with some sort of a system where you might find funding from someplace that could help this elderly population that is on fixed income, most of us, so that anything that needs to be fixed, we could actually afford to get fixed and maybe just have it be done like throughout the community, bit by bit by bit to actually get it done. I don't see how else it's going to happen. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question to Dr. about that? Yes. So I have a question for our council and our staff on this, because I'm curious about the sidewalks. At Edgewater, as everyone knows, I'm president of our 436 homes at Edgewater. We do require our homeowners to fix their sidewalks. We have enforcement. If they don't do it, we charge them for it. It's been kind of, Lieutenant, you're the one who taught me that is their responsibility, right? So my question is, I don't know how that's done in other HOAs. Could somebody enlighten us so we can maybe get this on our to-do list? Because I do want people to know that we are listening to them and hearing them.
So it's the same way in KCCA, that they're responsible for their own sidewalks. The city tends to be a little less aggressive with charging people because of income restrictions for the members of that community. I'm glad this is being brought up because it's been on my radar. Today, for example, I believe it was Oregon City. I was looking at some of their municipal grant programs. Coming from the city itself, they have sidewalk repair grant programs that help alleviate some of the costs for residents to fix the sidewalks in front of their homes. And so I thought, at the next budget reconciliation or what have you, maybe the city, if there's funds available from the transportation fund and from the transportation SDCs that we're getting from the new development, we could maybe allocate some funds to create some sort of grant program that citizens can apply to, and then we could help support them to fix their own sidewalks.
That would be great.
So that was just something that I was looking into today.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Oregon City does it.
Okay.
So maybe we could put together like a task force of maybe some staff and from some city citizens. Together they can research it and find out. That sounds like an excellent idea. I remember a meeting here, a number of months ago, we had a young man complaining he couldn't get his walker to grocery outlet, I think.
Yeah. We use Safe Sidewalks, and you probably know them, but they will make a schedule to come out, Matt. And when they come out, let's say on a Tuesday, they'll give a huge discount. You can just come out one time and then you fix a multitude of the sidewalks. And their charges are not very much from what I've seen. What's it called? Safe Sidewalks.
It was some sort of partnership that the city and KCCA or other local organization could come to an agreement, but it really would mean that the city has to allocate the funds. And then for the code enforcement, there's an example that happened a couple months ago where there was a resident who had just moved in. She was vision impaired, and the sidewalks on her neighbor were damaged. And so Dave and I went out there. We spray painted the corners so that the resident and the sidewalk was adjacent to knew that it was damaged, and we sent letters, and they were able to infill it to make it level.
Yep.
So it's just our code enforcement capacity is pretty limited because we're such a skeleton crew staff.
Yeah, I would also mention that we are complaint driven. We don't go out, so we don't have to.
We you can change that real fast. Well, I really think if we put a task force together, like, real soon.
Yeah, I do.
Also, we could do like I don't know what you want to call it, but, we've started like a special fund for those who don't have the money to do it, like almost a GoFundMe. We do it anonymously because we don't want anybody to feel ashamed if they don't have the money to do it, but it just needs to be done because it, as you guys pointed out, it is a big trip hazard. So I think it would be a great idea if we could start something and we could just keep moving.
Yeah, maybe the KCCA at their next board meeting could sort of voluntary funds, donation funds for the general neighborhood, and then you can put your figures together with what you've got, and we can put our figures together with what we might be able to have, and come together for maybe a fixed sidewalk program where they do large sections of the neighborhood. I'm just spitballing here.
Sorry, Jan, I'll let you have a comment, and then just for the sake of time, this is something we could add to another agenda.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Please make your comment.
Background information on all of this as well.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add this to a future agenda because it looks like there's a lot that we can hash out still. So thank you for your comments, everybody. Next up, we have Sherry Kilpatrick. Okay, sounds great.
Copies of these documents.
You guys want to look at those ones together?
Thank you for your time here. I've just given you only 2 copies. I didn't know there's going to be 4 of you to address to, but at any rate, it concerns our abandoned vehicles in the Highlands area, and specifically Dixon Street. And I've been dealing with one of the officers who's very aware of this and is happy that we are pursuing this, because we've had some concerns about the thing with the license plates that are on vehicles that are parked on the street, and the community that we live in there that are expired. They're just abandoned. Just yesterday, they towed one of the vehicles, probably after it took over a year for this car to be towed away, and it was with the help of the officer and our pursuant energies. But at any rate, there's another car that's parked on the same street right now that hasn't been towed. And if you get one car parked as people live in an apartment there, and another car that parks, and this guy is parking right on the street, it's an abandoned vehicle, then you get 2 cars coming through there. You can barely get through, and it creates a real hazard. And so, at any rate, the documents that I've provided here are the Washington County laws as it pertains to abandoned vehicles and King Cities. Well, there's a big hole there, and there's no laws that are on our side. So we need to have. We're suggesting that it be adopted for that what the Tigard police have, and if we can get all those same laws changed over and do away with the current, then we'll be much better off. And I also think get a no parking sign on our street there, then it'll make cars, as far as they'll see you're not allowed to be parking there. That would help. And
Yeah, just 20 more seconds.
Okay, all right. So anyway, we would like to see that happen if we can. We'd appreciate it. I've represent several people here from our community, and I appreciate your time. Dixon. Yep.
There's a post office right there, and the post office would thank us if we wouldn't let the people park there, because they can't deliver the mail.
Yes, the no parking would definitely help. If people know what they're doing with these loopholes, when they move the car, they know when to move it, they get a notice, they move it. I've sent out 3 letters from the last week alone. I didn't have that car yesterday. I sent one, sent a certified letter, I sent one on another one on the 31st, and by midnight last night it was gone. So there's one thing we attack every week here, it's vehicles. I mean, Councilor Braver knows, in the Roseberry area, it can get pretty rough because the streets are so skinny. But yeah, we're in a lot of letters, and so now we've actually resorted to not just, warning and sending letters, but we're actually issuing citations. And vehicles. That's a lot more things too.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go on to Ron and Lucy Land. You've already gone. Okay. Pat Grayson. Okay. Jim and Ginger. Okay, great. Just checking it off. And Gretchen.
I just want to say that Lieutenant does a really good job. We have people that thought they were going to keep bringing their abandoned vehicles.
Finally got the message.
That's totally fine.
Good evening, councilors and mayor. I heard in 2 or 3 meetings ago, I've lost track, Councilor Breverman was concerned about the differences between charter and code. And I absolutely agree with her. Our charter was written when the city was incorporated back in 1966. And unfortunately, it wasn't, there are very few revisions that have happened since 1966. And code provisions were passed and the inconsistencies continued. And as you know, our charter is the constitution for the city. And it's really important, the work that is going on with the Charter Review Committee. And I hope that we will have a charter, proposed charter, to you early to mid next year. And then we will be able to make our codes consistent with the charter. So it's really important work. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any online? Okay. Anyone online right now, if you would like to partake in open forum, please raise your hand. Sandy?
Hello, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you for joining.
I just want you to know how pleased I am that Randy Olson is applying for the city council again. I think he will make a valuable member to this new council team. It's great to know he trusts the forward momentum that is happening. His history is a great benefit to the residents of the city. Thank you to the council and the mayor for all your hard work. I hope you pick him. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, any others online? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and close. Oh, did you?
Presentation. I didn't know I needed to sign up.
Oh, I apologize. Feel free to come on up. I will have you can do your 3 minutes and I'll have you sign in on here just so we know that you came. State name.
Susie Del Bell. I have been a resident here for 8 years. I have a long history with King City. I was in junior high school when my dad had his first home built towards the south of King City. Then when I was 19 or 20, I mowed lawns for King's Garden and did landscaping here. and then moved on and was a nurse and a teacher and all that other stuff. So my presentation has to do with the first thing that was addressed is about the streets. And so I put together a little bit of information about sidewalks. And so residential sidewalks generally last from 20 to 80 years. And from the time King City was first built and then incorporated, we're looking at 61 years for our sidewalks. And when they laid out the property here, they paved the roads and they put the sidewalks in, and then people bought lots and built their houses. So they've been here the longest. And then, you know, how to know when to replace the sidewalks. When I Googled this today, large cracks, widespread damage that go beyond minor surface wear, significant settling or unevenness that can create tripping hazards, and the appearance of mold, mildew, or extensive staining that cannot be removed. And what you hear all the time is, well, the residents who own the property are responsible for the sidewalks that are adjacent to their property. And that the city is responsible for sending out notices to have those repaired. And then if they're not repaired, then the city has the right to go in and repair those. And for you, Beaverton had a really good plan. 50/50, might look into that, where the city funded 50% of the cost, and the homeowners did 50%. So I put this together because I'm one of those.
About 45 seconds, so I want to see your hard work.
Well,
Oh.
okay, so it was on July 10th. Here's the address, 12381 Southwest King George. Here's the lip that I tripped over. And the way King City was set up is that, you notice the driveways are very short, is the cars go in the garage and not park down the street, et cetera. And now we have increased traffic on the streets. And walkers are on the streets, so we don't fall. This is a loop that I do, and these are a few of the really more dangerous things that need to be replaced. And I've been walking for 8 years, and I haven't seen anything happen. The best I've seen is that people are saying, my driveway's a little cruddy, I'm going to pave that and do that, but they don't extend that to the sidewalks. And what happened to me on this day? There was a lot of traffic. I jumped up on the sidewalk. I caught my toe on the lip, and I went flying. And I have to say to the owner of whoever this is for this piece of property, dodged a bullet. Because I have just had a complete, total hip replacement. And if I would have landed on that hip, they would be responsible for my medical costs. And that is something that needs to be driven home.
Thank you. I'm sorry that you fell. I appreciate you being here.
It hurts. The older you get, it really hurts.
I hear it.
Sorry, would you mind just filling this out before you go sit down, and then we'll move on, just for the public comment portion?
Thank you.
Any other online?
Very close. We should keep that.
Hearing none, let's go ahead and close open forum. Moving on to unfinished business, we have none, so we will move on to new business. First item is to interview, discuss, and appoint a city council applicant. We have one tonight, Randy Olson. Would you like to come up and we can ask you a couple questions? I'm going to read something real quick. The next item on the agenda is to interview, discussion, and appointment of new city councilor to fill vacancy created by Councilor Denny Gelton's resignation. Under Chapter 2.38 of the King City Code and Section 17 of the City Charter, the council is responsible for filling vacancies by appointment. Tonight, the council will conduct interviews with the applicant, discuss qualifications, and proceed to nominations and appointments. Randy, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor.
You ready to jump back in?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions that my fellow councilors would like to ask.
I do have a question. Now, you've been here before, haven't you, Mr. Olson?
Yes.
Objection.
Listen to that lawyer talk. So, how much time do you think you would have to spend in this position, like, say, per week? What's your belief? How many hours?
Well, I'll first say that it's a lot more than you realize, but I was on the council last year, so I know how much time it requires. I believe on the application I said hopefully less than 80 hours a month.
That sounds reasonable.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, do you understand that the council is really looking for people who are transparent, want to be accountable, want to be responsive to our community, want to be responsive to our staff? We're looking for city councilors that are going to ask questions, they're going to be engaged, they're going to research, they're going to not just take what is being told to us as gospel, but really dive in deeper to make sure that the city council is making sound decisions with information from our partners. Does that not sound like something that you could join in on?
Well, the short answer is absolutely yes, but I believe that my previous time on the council demonstrated that.
Have any questions?
I do. For all of us, your time in the council previously was fairly short-lived because of...
Yeah, it was 8 months, and then the
Yeah.
term expired.
Right, and it expired. And so, the mission, in one sense, for the council, what would you say our mission, our overarching mission is?
Well, that's a good question. So I'll have to answer off the top of my head on that. It's to build a good future for the community. It's to listen and represent the community, and to be a good representative of the community when I'm in public.
I think you did well considering I just threw that at you, but to me, that's really important, and it kind of dovetails with what Council President Braverman said about, doing your own research and listening and digging into things and being willing to make decisions that is for the whole of King City's betterment, because someday we either move away or we die or whatever, but I think it's really, incumbent on us to do the best we can with the information that we have to ensure that King City thrives and people want to be here.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the concerns that are addressed today, safety and livability, are two of the top priorities.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited, actually, about what you all brought up, and we can talk offline later.
For me, it's really important that we hear from our constituency, encourage them, and follow up. I really get annoyed when people take their time to come down here and talk to us and show us things, and then nothing is done. So will you commit to joining us and making sure that we follow up, we follow through, we do take care of our people, both our internal and our external?
Well, absolutely. I think we always need to respond. Somebody sends an email or phone call and it's ignored. There might be a lot of legitimate reasons. We're short-staffed and things happen, but that really sends a bad message to the community. And for people responding, they come to the council meetings, and like Ronnie said, it's frequently the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, that if we're unaware of the issues in the community.
I don't have anything further.
Okay, no further questions for me. They asked wonderful questions. Thank you very much. So at this time, I'll call for, there's a two-step process here. We're going to call for nomination and an appointment. So at this time, I'll call for nomination. When I call your name, each counselor may nominate one qualified applicant by name. Counselor Gerhart.
I move to nominate Mr. Randy Olson to the city council, fill in the vacancy left by Denny.
We're not making a motion. You're just going to say who you would like to nominate to the position.
Nominate Randy Olson.
There we go. Counselor Tyso.
I would nominate Randy Olson.
Council President Braverman.
I nominate Randall Olson.
Okay, Mayor Kazmierski, I also nominate Randy Olson. Okay, you are now the nominee. So now we will move to appointment. So when I say your name, each counselor, okay, we'll proceed to voting. I just want to make this clear. Voting will be conducted by roll call vote as required by Section 7.03 of the City Charter and Chapter 2.38 of the City Code. Okay, when I say your name, each council member will say the name of the nominee they would like to appoint to the unexpired term of Councilor Denny Gelson. Council President Braverman.
I move for Randy Olson.
Okay, Councilor Tyso.
I move to appoint Randy Olson.
Yeah, just the name, just the name. Okay.
Randy Olson.
Okay, Mayor Kazmierski, Randy Olson. Okay, congratulations. Councilor Denny Gelson. Now we will proceed with your oath of office. Go ahead and look at that while we
Get it together.
okay, raise your right hand.
Repeat after me. I, Randy Olson, do hereby solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my abilities, I'll stop there.
I, Randy Olson, do hereby swear that I will, to the best of my abilities,
Faithfully fulfill and discharge the duties of the office
faithfully fulfill and discharge the duties of my office
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
and that I will support the Constitution
Of the United States of America.
and I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the laws of the state of Oregon
and the laws of the state of Oregon
and the ordinances of the city of King City.
and the ordinances of King City.
All right. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
And come join us. Yes, we will sign this afterwards.
All right. As our new counselor makes his way to a seat. Welcome.
And now it's time.
We will go ahead and now move on to our next item, discuss and consider Pride rate increase. Do we have somebody from Pride here for that? Okay, great.
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, hi, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me, and I'm sorry for being here virtually, but I have been sick this week and thought I would keep my germs to myself. So thanks for allowing me to participate virtually. And my name is Kristen Leichner. I'm the president and one of the owners of Pride Disposal Company, your franchised garbage collection company. And here today to discuss an annual rate review. The King City Code has sections that refer to the rate process, so I will just kind of run through it at a high level and then happy to answer any questions if you have them. So the code calls for us to turn in an annual report each year, which we do on March 15th, and that is for the prior calendar year. So we are reviewing the rates that were a result of our report for 2024 calendar year. And the rate of return for King City showed at just over 10% at 10.26%. And the code does call for a rate increase that is applied with the CPI methodology, the CPI index. So the code calls for if we fall between the 8 and 12% in that 10% area, then the straight CPI is applied. So that is what we are here proposing today. The CPI is 3.01% for this increase. And so for the most common cart size in King City, which is a 32-gallon cart, that would be a 98-cent per month increase. And if approved, this increase would take effect January 1st, 2026. And like I said, happy to answer any questions. Our controller, Eric, is also in the room in person. If you have questions that are beyond my help, he can step up to the podium and help as well.
Thank you. Any questions from the counselors?
So just to clarify, it'll be about $12 a year then per resident King City, if I'm understanding it's 98 cents or about $1 per month. Am I getting that right?
Yes, that's correct. For the most common cart size is a 32-gallon.
But it'll be more if it's a bigger cart.
Right. Yeah, more dollars, same percentage, but a higher dollar amount because the larger carts are more money. So for example, a 60-gallon cart for a customer that does have yard debris service is currently $50.09 per month. The proposed increase is $51.60. So it's about $1.51.
Thank you. Further questions?
No. And just more or less a wish, and that would be maybe putting a little video on your website or do some sort of online, this is how we recycle, because I've gotten a couple of your kind of newsletter things recently, and I kept one of them, and one of them I didn't even realize I could recycle until I got your newsletter. But just maybe a little more public outreach. I'm thinking of my husband who doesn't really believe me sometimes.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many arguments we help settle between spouses sometimes on the phone when we have can I recycle this? My partner doesn't think that we can. But yes,
I'm always retrieving plastic bags out of the recycling bin. I've given up asking or telling him that they aren't appropriate. I just dumpster dive instead.
Yes, well, the good news is if you do want to recycle your plastic bags, you can bring them to our depot in Sherwood for free. So there is an option, but you're right, they can't go in the curbside recycling. And just at a high level, there is some new recycling legislation that passed a couple of years ago at the state level. And that program officially started July 1st of this year. And so there is going to be a statewide campaign that will be doing some statewide recycling education in addition to the individual communities and garbage companies doing that education as well. So you should start seeing some of that stuff kind of in commercials, on the radio, on social media, in all of those areas. And then we certainly try and do regular education ourselves. There also may be kind of a mass decaling program going out because many of our communities like King City have had carts for recycling for some time, and those carts last a long time, but the stickers on the top that direct people on what to do tend to not last as long in our Pacific Northwest weather. So we are, with the new rules that have come out and a few changes to the list, looking at doing kind of a mass decal application program throughout our service areas to make sure everybody has that information right on the lid when they go out to their cart to put things in there. And one of the things on those stickers says no plastic bags.
Kristen, quick question. So this 98 cents a month increase, how does that compare to last year's increase?
I can pull that up really quick. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I do have it accessible. It
was a year ago, wasn't it?
Yes, the current rates went into effect January of 2025. So last year, the increase from a dollar perspective on a 32-gallon cart was closer to $2.50 a month. So it is a smaller dollar increase this year. And that percentage, let me pull that up. It was about a little over 7% last year.
So substantially smaller this year.
Yes.
So I'm gonna complain about that, okay? Thank you.
And the rate increase would be effective January 1st.
I'm sorry, I had trouble hearing that.
The rate increase would be effective January 1st.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
My only question to you again is that, King City does have a nice retirement community here. And I was wondering, for the retirement community, I noticed that for anybody that has to use like sharp needles, they have those red containers. I understand that you're only taking those Monday through Friday. Would there be any way you could open up a weekend for some people that are 65 and maybe working and needing to drop those off outside of a work week? Is there any chance of that happening?
At our site, that is not likely to happen, but there are some other locations around the region that take them. Some local pharmacies have a take back program. Metro also takes them at their 2 facilities, one in Northwest Portland and one in Oregon City, which I know are not that convenient for King City residents. But Metro also does take them at their household hazardous waste community events that they hold throughout the region that are always on Saturdays. And then there is also an effort going on at the Metro region to put some public sharps drop-off boxes where you can take a small single-use residential sharps container and drop it into, it kind of looks like a book return or a blue mailbox. And there's one that is intended to go in at the Sherwood Senior Center here in the next couple of months. I think that would, and I think one in Tualatin as well. Those would be, I think, the closest locations to King City.
Thank you. Most pharmacies are not allowing you to bring them. Kaiser won't let you bring them. Neither will any of the Walgreens. CVS Pharmacy will not. I've heard a lot of pushback because I'm sure you agree, you don't want people putting that in the trash if they get desperate. So you might consider opening Saturday hour if you could do that in the future, just something to consider.
Thank you for that. I didn't realize that many of the pharmacies had stopped taking them.
Okay, any further questions? Would someone like to make a motion to accept the pride rate increase?
I would do approve the pride rate increase. Effective January 1st.
I hear a second.
I second.
We will go ahead and roll call. Council President Braverman.
Yes.
Okay, Councilor Olson.
Yes.
Councilor Tyso.
Yes.
Councilor Gearhart.
Yes.
Mayor Kazmersky, yes. Motion passes 5. Okay. Thank you, Kristen, very much for being here.
Thank you for your time.
Next on our agenda is our financial memo. Is that separate from what Katie shared earlier, Amira shared earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in our packet.
It is, yes. I just didn't know if they already covered it. Okay. Who is sharing it? Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Hi, Katie.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Just fed the dogs. So I don't think there's anything in that memo that's in addition to what Mira talked about. So I couldn't hear exactly what was said, but that is the same memo. All the items that Mira went through is what's in the memo. But if anyone has any questions on when the financial statements will be available or the audit, I'm here to answer those.
My only question is, I think when the auditor was here several months ago, he had mentioned that we would be caught up through 24, 25 by the end of the year. That doesn't sound probably likely.
Yeah. The calendar year, just not the fiscal year. So, yeah.
So we'll be caught up on 23, 24.
Yes. And then we still don't have any dates for when we would start the FY25 audit. However, we are looking at going to RFP for that. So there's going to be a separate process potentially for the FY25 audit. But as before, as when we were in the FY23 audit, the auditors will not discuss timing of the next audit until the current audit is finished. But we can't get confirmation from the auditors on timing of the FY24 audit, if that makes sense. So they've done the field work. I'm expecting draft financials any day.
Do you have a question?
I just wanted to thank you. I noticed in your proposal, you mentioned, you and Mira and the whole team mentioned about possibly putting financials in a way that city council could be able to view them. And I just wanted to enhance my applauding that idea and anything that you can do and work with our team to get that accomplished, because I know you've got a million things on your to-do plate. We appreciate it, but I think that was an excellent suggestion that I read. And I don't know what it would take to do that, number one, but if you could do that, it would really make city council able to be able to see things, be able to make better decisions based on that information. It's transparent. So whatever you could recommend. And my second thing is that I don't know what system you guys are using, and I don't want to open a can of worms tonight, but I would like to see a recommendation from your team about, if you have one, about an easier, if it's QuickBooks, I don't know what's the options, but something that would be easier, something that the city council could then look at easier, and look at the invoices easier, see what's going on easier, avoid potential audits, make those easier, whatever you could recommend. I think the council would be loving to hear your feedback.
Yeah. Okay, let me think on that. I hear you.
All right, thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next item on our agenda is our public hearing for land use annexation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have scheduled a legislative land use hearing related to land use number LU 2025-05 annexation, an ordinance annexing a certain tract of land, approximately 5.27 acres in size, with 100% property owner consent. The hearing format for this proceeding is different than quasi-judicial land use proceedings, so members of the public provide testimony in the same manner. Members of the public may participate in person, in writing, or both. We ask that a copy of all written materials be submitted to our city clerk so that they can be part of the record of the proceedings. The grounds for an appeal of a legislative decision are contained in ORS Chapter 197, specifically ORS 197.620. Following a staff report, we will be taking public testimony. For in-person testimonials, located in the back of the council room is a hearing comment registration form. Please write your name and all other required fields. For testimonials via Zoom, please write your name and whether you are in support, in opposition, or neutral in the comments section. Names will be called upon in the order that we receive comments in the chat box. Please be advised that all participants in person or via Zoom are expected to conduct themselves respectfully and professionally. Interruptions of public meetings containing inappropriate comments, hate speech, sexually explicit content, foul language, or any language suggesting bodily harm to others will not be tolerated. If any participant engages in such conduct, the chair reserves the right to immediately mute and remove the offending individual from the meeting. This action aligns with our commitment to maintaining a safe and respectful environment for all participants. By attending this meeting, you acknowledge and agree to adhere to these guidelines. When I call your name, please identify yourself, state your name, and make your statement. The maximum time allotted for testimony shall be as follows: 3 minutes for individuals, 20 minutes for applicants and persons representing 4 or more persons, 10 minutes for applicants' rebuttal. Public hearing. I call to order the public hearing regarding case number LU-2025-05 at 7:16 p.m. Mr. Carter, please read the title of the ordinance number 2025-02.
Mayor, ordinance number 2025- actually 03.
Oh, yep.
The ordinance annexing a certain tract of land approximately 5.27 acres in size with 100% property owner consent.
Oh, it looks a lot longer than that on my sheet.
Oh, wait, you're right.
Okay. Boy, that was so fast. Okay.
An ordinance annexing a certain tract of land into the city limits of King City, withdrawing the tract and territory of Washington County and Sheriff's Patrol District, and Washington County Urban Road Maintenance District, and to change the zoning designations from Washington County Future Development 20-acre to King City Zone, East Bend neighborhood.
Does any member of the council have any ex parte contact they wish to disclose? Hearing none. Does any member of the audience wish to challenge the jurisdiction of this council to hear this matter? Okay, hearing none. Does any member of the council want to disclose any actual or potential conflicts of interest? Okay, hearing none. Does any member of the audience wish to challenge any individual member of City Council? Okay, hearing none. For all those wishing to testify, please be aware that if you fail to raise an issue in person, Zoom, or by letter today or to the City Council, you will be unable to raise that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals, LUBA. Testimony and evidence must be directed toward the criteria that staff will describe or other criteria in the plan or land use code which you believe apply to the decision. Failure to specifically address the approval criteria that staff will describe also precludes the raising of an issue related to those criteria on appeal. At this time, I call for the staff to present the proposal along with applicable approval standards and make a recommendation.
Mayor, so we have been, a property owner over in the Kings Terrace area, their representatives have come to the city and applied for annexation. It's 100% property owner annexation. It's approximately 5.27 acres. Ronnie's pulling up the map right now, but it's near the town center, Charlton Development, over on the western edge of Kingston Terrace, just east of Elsner. As I mentioned in the title of the ordinance, upon annexation of this property, the zoning for the land will be designated East Bend neighborhood. The approval criteria for annexation for a city are generally, the city has responsibilities procedurally for public notice, noticing DLCD, ensuring that there are no Goal 5 resources on site or identifying those resources, having designations in mind. And so all of those procedural criteria that are responsibilities of the city have been set. I did want to note that the original map that I sent out to the City Council that was published in the original staff report was slightly incorrect in that it mentioned that the public right-of-way, which is the south of Centerline East Bend, was already annexed into the city. That was a mistake. The public right-of-way south of Centerline East Bend is included in this annexation. So currently the city limits follow East Bend right until where the property line ends, and then snakes around the property line and goes back down to Roy Rogers. So there's a gap in not only the city limits, but also our, the city ownership, or not ownership, but the East Bend being in the city. As far as responsibility for the applicant, they have to provide the city with, proof of ownership, certified maps, legal description. They have to have a public meeting, and all of the responsibilities of the applicant have been upheld. The applicant also provided the city with a wetland delineation, which was approved and concurred by the Department of State Lands, which is the state agency that rules over Goal 5 natural resources and wetlands. And that delineation, which again was approved by the Department of State Lands, definitively shows that there are no wetlands on the property. And so with that being said, we can reasonably say that it has been inventoried to have no wetlands. And so based upon my findings, based upon all of the documents that the applicant provided with the city, and all of the procedures that the city has set forth, my recommendation for the City Council is to vote for approval of the annexation. Anyone have any questions?
This includes the annexation of the south side of the Big Bend Road adjacent to the property. It isn't currently within the King City city limits. Does this impact any of the previous annexations further west?
No. No, this does not include any other annexation.
Is it gonna cost King City any money for this?
Will cost King City no money. In fact, we will collect revenue from property taxes. And the applicant, when an applicant comes to the city for annexation, there's fees, and they have to put down deposits because we have to mail notices and that. So, if the mailing isn't too expensive, it's marginal, but it's.
So Max, here a couple of months ago, we were talking about, I think, Kensington Square. There were a lot of issues regarding intersections and stoplights and stop signs and traffic turbos and all that. This is probably not the time to bring that up yet, is it?
So
In other words, my question is, are there any issues that you can see regarding traffic?
So the crux of Kensington Square was that they banked around an intersection that already exists. And so by nature of them building more houses around an intersection that already exists, that intersection will be impacted. With this development, with this annexation, there are no intersections that currently exist that are immediately adjacent to it. And any future development will have to comply with the TSP and be approved by Washington County and ensure that it will impact traffic detriment.
Perfect, thank you.
It's not an access point for anyone other than the person that lives on the property, and they're trying to annex.
Sure.
So that's my question, will the person who's living on the property remain on the property, or is there a plan to develop that property?
So I'm currently reviewing a development plan application. It's on my desk. There is a tentative hearing date for that application at the Planning Commission for late September. The Kensington Square situation was a little odd, at least in so far as how I'm aware of procedures, because you heard an annexation and a development plan review at the exact same time, hearings back to back. Generally, planning, like developments go through the Planning Commission, and they're the final authority on development subdivisions, and that's their decision is a city council. And it was at the behest of the applicant that the city council development plan and annexation happen at the same time for whatever reason.
So what is the plan, just very generally?
I will let the applicant go over. I know they've provided a presentation, but basically when the city annexed where the town center is,
Right.
and it's around 200 acres, give or take, they also annexed east of Elsner, which was a Charlene Woods 233 single-family homes, which was approved last year, or earlier this year. But the annexation had the missing piece, and Charlene Woods' site plan also contains that missing piece. So essentially, when we got that annexation and that development plan, we requested that the applicant give us what's called a shadow plat. So it says, okay, there's a hole in your development. I want you to show us how you're going to plug that hole and how it's going to fit into the rest of the development if future development occurs, whether by you or by someone else. We just want to know it's possible. And so PCD was gracious enough to provide us with this shadow plat that shows, hey, we plan on developing this at some point. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to have to be annexed. We're not sure exactly what the timeline on that is. And so we approved Charlene Woods knowing that at some point this hole will be filled and kind of having a general idea of what that would look like. And I'll just say that the development plan that I'm reviewing looks generally the same as what the shadow plat looked like. So it's the same kinds of houses, it's the same street classifications and widths and everything like that. So it should fit in nicely. And again, I'll let the applicant go into more detail about that during the presentation.
Just so I can leave here and not be confused, were previous annexations in Kingston Terrace, didn't it use cherry stem annexation?
The town center did use a cherry stem.
But if we're missing that piece on Beef Den Road.
The thing was that the way that the tax lots lined up, that cherry stem to one tax lot, but the cherry stem only needs to go to that tax lot. You attach the tax lot to the cherry stem, and then the tax lot becomes the boundary of the.
All right, thanks for
Does that
that.
make sense?
Yeah.
Also, it's good to see you again up there, Councilor.
So I just wanted to ask one more question, and I meant to introduce and thank our interim city attorney, Missy Bryan, for being here. Ms. Bryan, is there anything that you could share to the council that we should be asking or knowing about this?
President Braverman, nice to be here, and, nice to be in the city. This is going, textbook so far. I took a look at the staff report pretty extensively, no issues. Nice to see. Congrats on all the great questions.
Thank you. Okay, no further questions? Okay, does any member of the audience wish to speak in favor of this application? I do not have anybody list, oh.
Sorry for the applicant, the presentation.
Everybody missed that part of my. Okay, that wasn't on here. Okay, applicant first, okay. Okay, at this time, will the applicant come make your proposal?
Great, thank you, Ronnie. Good evening, Mayor and City Councilors. My name is Maureen Jackson, and I'm an Associate Project Manager with PCD. For the record, my address is 12564 Southwest Main Street in Tigard. And tonight, I'm here to request approval of an annexation and a zone map amendment for the property located at 15800 Southwest East Bend Road. So we are requesting annexation of a single property. The request has been initiated by the property owner, who is being represented by New Home Company. The annexation includes frontage of East Bend Road to the center line, as Max discussed, which is consistent with the urban planning area agreement between the county and King City. So here we have a map of the property in relation to the existing city boundary. The 5.27 acre site is highlighted in yellow, and as you can see, the site is bordered by property already within the city's boundary on the east, south, and west sides. And the next slide, Ronnie. So the requested annexation conforms to the double majority method, which requires signatures from 100% of the property owners and at least 80% of the registered voters on the property. So exhibits G and H of the application are petitions signed by 100% of the property owners and 100% of the active registered voters on the property. These petitions have been certified by Washington County Survey and Elections Offices. So annexation also requires the property to be located adjacent to existing city limits, and as we saw on the previous slide, the property is adjacent to the city limits on 3 sides. And the next slide, Ronnie. So the requested annexation is required to support future development of the property, and as you can see here, the property is an outparcel of the previously approved Charlene Woods development. So we're filling the donut hole, if you will. And the next slide. So along with the annexation into the city's jurisdiction, we ask that the property be rezoned. The site is currently located within Washington County's future development FD-20 zone. We are requesting that the site be rezoned as Kingston Terrace East Bend neighborhood to conform with the city's comprehensive plan and the community development zoning code. The property is located within the East Bend neighborhood, as you can see here on the a copy of the neighborhood zone figure, which is in the city's code. And so according to the city's code, an update to the city's local wetland inventory is required prior to annexation. However, there are no wetlands on the property. A copy of the wetland delineation approved by Oregon Department of State Lands was provided in Exhibit J. And so this slide is an excerpt from the report that identifies the location of the test pit and the photos provided to DSL to support the delineation. And then the next slide. So we've also provided you with a copy of the service provider letter approved by Clean Water Services that illustrates the property in relation to the water, wetlands, and vegetated buffer located on the adjacent tax lot 1000. So impacts mitigation and enhancement to these off-site resources, it was approved with the Charlene Woods Development Plan Review application. And the next slide. So here we just have a close-up of the proposed development. So again, the requested annexation supports this future development of the property. It's designed to seamlessly integrate into the previously approved Charlene Woods development. It's designed with public improvements, including streets that align and connect to the approved development. And as Max mentioned, we do have a development plan review application for the Charlene Woods 2 that's currently under review by the city. And if you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. Thank you.
I have a question. Any idea what the time frame is on like construction or breaking ground?
I believe it is 2027. We're currently working, as you can see, the construction is currently happening in the town center. So we have phase 1 of the town center and the corner that's currently under construction. I believe with phase 2 of the town center, there will also be improvements along Elsner Road that include a roundabout, which is also, the roundabout is located, the east side is located in the Charlene Woods 1 development area. And it's New Home's intention to develop both Charlene Woods and Charlene Woods 2 at the same time.
And I hate to ask this same question over and over, but is there any planned road improvements to Beef Bend?
The Beef Bend? Yes, along Beef Bend, we are working with the county for road improvements. And
You're from halfway?
yes, it's right, and it'll actually be 3/4 road improvements, I believe. We've tried, we're designing the road and getting it permitted through Washington County, who also is working with Tigard for the future improvements to the north side of Beef Bend.
Oh, okay. One last question. Any idea what the length is of that along Beef Bend Road?
I do not.
The scale at all?
I do not have that information. Yeah, I don't have any dimensions on my plan sheet here, sorry.
Again, how many houses are going to build on this annex property?
There'll be 56 total. There's going to be 30 cottage small dwelling units, and then 26 of the smaller rear-loaded homes.
Has any kind of impact on the traffic study been done on how this might impact?
So the traffic impact study that was done, or it's also submitted with the development review application. When Kittleson did the traffic study for Charlene Woods that's already been approved, they accounted for the development in this lot, the additional 56 homes.
Councilor Gerhart, so I just measured it from the edge of Charlene Woods to the far west side of Lloyd Rogers is about 4,000 feet.
All right, so 3/4 of a mile-ish. Okay, good, thanks.
All right, I think that's all our questions for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Does any member of the audience wish to speak in favor of this application? I do not have anybody on my sheet. Is there anybody online? Okay. Hearing none, does any member of the audience wish to speak in opposition to this application? I have none here. Any online? Hearing none, does anyone wish to provide neutral comment? I have none here. Not yet. Any online? Okay. Hearing none. Applicant probably has no rebuttal. Do councilors have any questions for staff? Have a question you would like to add?
I don't think it's a question, but it is a concern. I mean, I saw that the planning commission back in July approved this, and I do think highly of our planning commission. But it just seems like we're just packing more homes in here and more traffic. And I don't know, I'm speaking for some of the constituents who have mentioned to me that they really wish we would be spending more time and effort on repairing our streets and our sidewalks instead of packing in more people and more cars. So I just want to know, are we starting to slow down on this? Are we going to keep going? What's our plan?
Yeah, maybe briefly. I think some of it doesn't technically pertain to this matter at hand.
I'll just say that I don't have anything that I'm aware of on the horizon. Specifically these developments, the town center, Charlotte Woods and Charlotte 2, have been in the works for a number of years, but pre-COVID, and COVID kind of set that back. And so with the passing of the Kingston Terrace Master Plan, these are waiting in the wings. And so that's why they've kind of happened seemingly rapidly over the last 2 years. But I am expecting things, I can't promise because can't tell the future, but I am expecting things to kind of cool down from now on. Obviously things can change, but that's just like kind of why it's happening so fast.
Okay. At this time, I would ask for a motion to close or continue the public testimony. I think we're closing it. Yes? Motion to close.
Right here, I'm going to continue it, public testimony, sorry.
Testimony, yeah. Closing public testimony. Okay. Did you want to make a motion?
I move to close the public testimony.
Okay, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I move to close the public testimony.
Great. Can I get a second? Second. Okay. Councilor Olson. Can we just do it all in favor? Do we need to do roll call? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Am I voting to
Council-
close it? What am I voting on?
To close public testimony.
Oh, yes.
Council President Braverman.
Yes.
Okay, Councilor Tyso.
Yes.
Councilor Gearhart.
Yes.
Mayor Kazmersky, yes. I declare this public testimony is closed on August 21st, 2025 at 7:40. At this time, I would ask for a motion to continue the public hearing to September 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Make that motion. I make a motion that we continue the public hearing to September 17th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
I'll second it.
Councilor Gearhart.
Yes.
Councilor Tyso.
Yes.
Council President Braverman.
Yes.
Councilor Olson.
Yes.
And Mayor Kazmersky, yes. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Yeah. Okay, is that it? Do I need to say something else? Okay, cool. All right, that closes.
Come back for the second reading.
Next item on our agenda is the continuation of public hearing for the minor code. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a continuation of a legislative land use hearing from July 24th, 2025, related to the adoption of ordinance number O-2025-002, minor amendment to the Community Development Code section 16.114.060.6E.6.8. I call to order the public hearing regarding ordinance number O-2025-02, minor amendment to the Community Development Code Section 16.114.060.6B.6.A at 7:41 p.m. Public testimony portion of the public hearing was closed on July 24th, 2025. Mr. Carter, please read the ordinance number 2025-02.
Mayor, before I read the ordinance name, if you go to page 2, it says I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing. That's already been closed, so you don't need to say that. And you don't need to declare the public hearing closed because that's already happened. Just read this back.
Oh, you were talking to me on the second page. Okay.
Now we close public testimony. Public hearing is still, our public hearing is still open.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Because this is the public hearing. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right.
In ordinance number 2025-02, an ordinance for, this is the second reading. An ordinance for a minor amendment to the Community Development Code, Section 16.114.060C6A.
Does any member of the council have any ex parte contact they wish to disclose? Does any member of the audience wish to challenge the jurisdiction of the council to hear this matter? Hearing none, does any member of the council want to disclose any actual or potential conflicts of interest? Hearing none, does any member of the audience wish to challenge any individual member of city council? Hearing none, at this time, I would ask for a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilor Gearhart?
Yes.
Councilor Tyso?
Yes.
Council President Braverman?
Yes.
Councilor Olson?
Yes.
Mayor Kazmersky, yes. Motion passes 5-0. I declare the public hearing for ordinance number O-2025-02, minor amendment to the Community Development Code, Section 16.114.060.C.6.A, closed at 7:43 p.m. on August 21st, 2025. Okay, so now we discuss and consider. What is the pleasure of the council? That's really what you want to say? Okay. Any further discussion points? Councilor Tyson?
No, I don't. Would, Max just read the ordinance?
What it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Oh, this is the 3 feet one.
Just to reiterate, this is a minor text amendment of 2 words in the Community Development Code section for Kingston Terrace, which reduces the minimum requirement for vertical transition into a home from 3 feet to 18 inches.
All right. Okay, if there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion to either approve with conditions, or deny ordinance.
I move to approve ordinance number 2025-02, minor amendment to the Community Development Code, Section 16.114.060.C.6.A.
Can I get a second? Okay. Motion has been moved and seconded. We will go to a vote. Councilor Olson?
Yes.
Council President Braverman?
Yes.
Councilor Tyso?
Yes.
Councilor Gearhart?
Yes.
Mayor Kazmersky, yes. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, we did it. Okay, so that, I have one more thing, closes that item. I know. Yes. Last item on our agenda here is to discuss and consider compensation for the chief as acting and manager pro tem. For this discussion, I will recuse myself of discussions if I have a potential conflict. As my husband works for the city, so I will switch places with you.
Oh, I'll just say.
Okay, so I will, but you're the chair now.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like we should discuss compensating the chief for taking on additional duties. I know that I spoke very briefly with our council about making sure that the chief has some kind of a job description or we basically just told him he has this title, but I don't know if he has any idea of what he needs to do, how he needs to do it. So I'd like to kind of flesh that out with the council and staff to figure out what's the best way to handle that, what would be appropriate, and then what would be an appropriate remuneration for his additional duties.
So do we have any idea at all what additional percentage or dollar amount per day?
I think it's a unique situation. So I don't know if Council Ryan has an idea for us or what you might suggest to the council that we could entertain.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. My suggestion would be that this is a very worthy discussion, but it might be a discussion that the council would want to table until the next meeting and gather some compensation information from professionals. I think Prossman might be a good place to start. All of the useful League of Cities. And of course, any compensation that you do decide on could be backdated. So
absolutely.
And that conversation can same track as putting together a job description, which is going to be a necessary component of recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy is working with Prossman to put together the job description.
Well, I'm thinking like Ronnie and Max might have some ideas of what the duties are of a city manager, could help the city council. Maybe we should do a work session to put that together, because it's not fair to just ask the chief to do something and we're not telling him what needs to be done, what order, what priority, and also to make sure that he has enough resources and time to do that and his chief duty. So I just want to make sure we're being fair and that we're being clear.
And the city, I will say, the city's charter in 5.03 has a pretty surprisingly extensive and detailed list of the duties of the city manager.
Okay.
There are like 12 separate items that are listed. That's a really excellent starting point and then to kind of fill in the lines.
So what would be the appropriate way, and which person, because I don't think, the city council manages the city manager. Would it be appropriate for us, council, to have a work session to maybe incorporate that from the charter, put it in a little document, make sure we have something that the chief knows, and then find out from Prossman or whoever what we could pay to compensate properly?
I think that the city attorney are the job description.
Okay.
And, bring it back to the council.
Okay.
So that's sort of one way to pursue it. The city attorney is also going to be working with the pro tem city manager on getting that same job description. And I understand that Prossman is actually coming and going to be working with city staff to put together the report. I have that right? And things like that. And so I think that there'll be a good position description coming out of this. But if the council would like me to take first shot at the pro tem city manager duties.
Since we're talking about compensation, should this be an executive session?
Not be an executive session.
No, it has to be. It has to be.
I knew that. I knew
it. You were talking about compensation.
Open session.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good idea if council would take that laboring or to just put something together that the council can approve. And then absolutely, if we could get just some idea, if you could contact Prossman and just ask them if they have the proper, we don't want to under compensate, and so we would really need to have some guidance, because I don't know that we as city councilors have ever faced this before.
Right.
can't hear me.
That's great, so let's plan on revisiting that, at the September.
Okay. Randy, do you have a question?
Well, yeah, it's a shame we can't do this in the executive session. I think it would be really important to get input from the interim city manager directly, and also what he thinks is fair compensation, and how much time does he have to commit to these duties.
Yeah.
This seems foundational.
But you have this conversation with the chief council and get that input, because I think that's a very good point. Thank you, Councilor Olson.
I'll track him down.
Okay, do any of the other Councilor Gearhart, Councilor Tyso, do you have any comments or thoughts that you want to add? Councilor Olson? Okay, so, do I hear somebody make a motion that we will table this matter until the next meeting, which I believe is September 17th?
I make a motion, we table this matter until September 17th of the next regular city session.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Councilmember Olson?
Yes.
Council President Braverman, yes. All right, thank you. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, that was the last item on our agenda, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second, all in favor, say aye. 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 All right, motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned, everybody.
Nice job.
You're good to go.
You did fantastic.
I don't want to be on the microphone, so. I know I go a lot, but I just asked a question.
Good timing.
There time that
Labor Day weekend.
There is a, MLC is coming to give a presentation next week.
Okay.
Moving.